Got a bit of a fix-up project. It is a 91 Canter four-wheel drive. Got some charging issues, battery issues, something drawing current. And one of the other guys put it on an isolator that's no good. Alternator's obviously charging. I just jump started it with a 36 volt cordless whippers and HIPAA battery. It's Sunday's project. Look forward to that. You'll see a bit of work done to the MITSUIBISHI Canner, see if we can't speed it up and freshen it up a little bit. Got some digging jobs to do. Look forward to that, guys. Thanks for watching. Sort of can. It's not amazing. It's four-wheel drive. So you can dual wheels at the back and then front diff, and yeah, quite unstoppable in the bush from what the boss tells me. Great for wood carting, etc. But it's either a bit tired or a bit just something's out of tune or whatever. It's not overly powerful. One of the other things I found with the charging problems, I reckon that might be an issue when the alternator's actually loaded up, so we're going to give that an adjust. The first thing we're going to do is the whole thing, give the poor old girl a degrease so we can see what we're working with. Just noticed a big crack in the exhaust manifold there that someone's tried to weld up previously. I'm not sure whether that's going to exactly rob any power, but we will add heat to under the engine compartment, because it's a cab over with the tray right behind it. I've got that up, but I'm actually not working under it at any point, so more just so I can see what I'm doing. Gearbox breather and that there's been breathing pretty heavy, made it pretty messy. So it is warm, and that'll actually help you get some of the grease off. Get it warm, get some degreaser on there, let it soak. I've got a whole can from when I did the excavator at work before it goes in for a service, the same deal. And give the vacuum pump a bit of a clean as well. Looks like it runs twin oil filters. Right, so this is more the business side of the diesel engine. Being naturally aspirated, you never expect amazing things, because they're made for long-term reliability and just going forever. So it's something we've got to take into account. But we'll do some research a bit later on the fuel injection and see if that can be gently wound up a little bit to increase a bit of fuel feed in. The boss said it blew a little bit of smoke when I first started driving it yesterday, but it was only blue smoke because it was stone cold. Hadn't been driven for about 4 months, and we started sneaking out of his driveway with it. So it's probably something pretty natural. Give this degreaser a bit of time to soak on here. We'll get it all off and see what we're looking at. Might make it a bit easier to work on. You can see all the adjusters, and you'll be able to find any new leaks that way. All the leaks that are on it now are probably old ones. Alright, it's a bit cleaner. Let's see if I can put a screen grab of what it was like before inside it so you can see. But anyway, working on the charging system. Current lamp out, and at the moment we're only using 1.7 amps charge. It's been running for about 15 minutes, keeping the batteries topped up. Now I ended up finding out what's wrong and why it keeps going flat and destroying batteries, because we don't use it all that often. Up in here is a button for the hoist. I always thought the hoist was hydraulic. I never even really looked at this truck all that much. But it's an electric over hydraulic pump, and it's got a switch here. When you have it down, it means that the system's sealed and you can pump it up, and away goes the ram. And when you have it up, it opens up the solenoid to let it come back down again. So 1.6 amps of charge at the moment. I'll open up that solenoid. Hasn't really affected it. Oh, there we go. What's that about? 800 milliamps at 24 volts, so it's like 20 watts that solenoid pulls. It's like leaving an indicator globe on all the time. And I just wanted to make sure that the alternator's doing its job. So that's at complete idle, it's putting out 10 amps at 24 volts. So 240 watts. So that was just the heater and the high beams. Now what I'll do is I'll operate the hoist. It comes up in the middle of the body. Operate the hoist and we'll watch the amp gauge go up as I do that. So to raise it with no payload in it, it's empty at the moment obviously, otherwise it will be on the ground. To raise it with no payload in it, it peaks up to around 25 amps of draw. So if you were to be doing it at idle like this and it can only produce 10 amps roughly, the alternator, you're actually using 1.5 times more energy what the alternator can produce. Therefore you'd be waiting 1.5 times longer for it to recharge at idle. Still putting 7 amps in at the moment after a little push up there. It's not even all the way because it's close to the house. But that's what happens. So I reckon the combination of when you actually are using the hoist, you're using it at really low RPMs for it idle. Some people actually use hoists like this on their utes and trucks I've seen before when the engine's not running, which is probably really not good. What everyone's been doing, because it takes so long for an empty tray to come down, they've been flicking the lower it down disconnect it button up onto the on position and leaving it there. There's a 24 volt 20 watt solenoid sitting on the side of the pump running continuously to hold open a valve, so when you get down to the last level it's really slow. After it hasn't been used for a while, it's probably even worse than this. I've lifted it up and down numerous times, keeping an eye on the amp gauge. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the solenoid off in a minute. I'm going to walk away, just going to leave this running for half an hour, and I want to see how close to zero that gets. It's never going to get to zero because it's using current to excite its own diodes inside. Actually run the alternator. If you need to learn how an alternator works, I'm sure you'll find that on YouTube somewhere with a nice animation. Someone will be smart enough to show that. There is a solenoid that holds open the fuel, and there's obviously bits and pieces inside the cabin that'll be running as well. So 5.4 with the solenoid turned on, off, and dropping away. So I'm going to say for round numbers it's an amp, so it's only 25 watts. It's like leaving a low beam headlight in some cars. cars on. So it's definitely going to destroy the batteries every time. They're only a pair of like car battery size batteries to start it. They're not huge. It does run a 24 volt system, but it also is running a 4-cylinder relatively high compression diesel because it doesn't have glow plugs. It starts without them. Or if it does have glow plugs, they're all automatic. You don't actually get a chance to run them or see them run. Oh, look, have a look. Yeah, no glow plugs. We'll leave that running. Let's see if it gets down close to 0. Thanks for watching, I'll come back a bit later. Right, we got down to 700 milliamps, that's enough for me. But I thought we're going to get a spanner and we'll adjust that belt up and try and work out if we can make that a bit tighter. You ready? Holy shit. None of the belt's loose. Oh no, it's just sitting there by the bottom one. Oh, looks like we're welding that up.
Fuck this game, this is bullshit! Oh, this is insane. Now I'm gonna have some explaining to do. 5 seconds later, the controller's in pieces.
Yeah, that's a big issue. Oh, I'll grab the welder. Alright, let's get this cleaned up with the wire wheel and we'll weld it up. Now that we've got that fixed up, we can adjust the alternator properly. So I've backed that bolt off, put tension on it. You don't want to go crazy. You want to move about 10-15 mil, I suppose. No point putting crazy amounts of torque on a old belt, you'll just snap it. Now when you look down the belt, it's in alignment again. It was moving forward and back a bit. One less thing done. One more thing done. Let's have a look at this cast exhaust manifold, see if we can't lay a weld in that. Alright, I've had a bit of a clean up with the die grinder in 2 places. I found a second one. So we'll try it low kind of speed and a bit of heat, see what it does. The exhaust manifold's already warm obviously, so that might help with it not cracking again, but let's see if we can seal it up. So we've welded them up. It's certainly going to be better. We've covered both cracks. Bit of a run each side and the one over the top. It should all stay nice and hot for the time being because it already was at, you know, engine exhaust temperature. I only just had the engine running, fixing the alternator problems. Let that cool down and give it a clean off a bit later with the what do you call it? Clean it off a bit later with the die grinder. We'll see what happens. I might just peen it first, just give it a bit of a tap with the welding chipping hammer, just see if that helps. But hopefully that'll take a bit of heat out of the engine bay while you're trying to drive the old girl. There is a bit of an open space at the back there. I kind of get like a bubble kind of effect going on underneath them, an aerodynamic bubble. And yeah, it's either got to manage to get down past the gearbox, and you don't want to heat the gearbox up as much either, or up out between the cab guards. So hopefully that hot air blowing around in there causing turbulence that's not designed to be there might stop it running any hotter. It looks to me like that down there is a heat exchanger for the oil, just by the looks of it. Line there going back to the water set up in the front of it. I wonder if that's what it is. That's pretty cool. I get to check up too many specs on the engine, but it is a little 4-cylinder diesel in a 91 Canter 4-wheel drive. I think it's about a 6.5 ton truck, something like that. Thanks for watching, guys. As I do a bit more to it, I'll let you know. Cheers. Alright then, let's take the big bass for a drive. I just thought for interest's sake, I didn't know. I'd Google whether diesel goes stale or whether it goes yuck or whatever. And Chevron and Exxon, sorry, both reckon that it does. Between 6 and 12 months it can lose power and just be not as good quality wise. So we might go and stick some fresh diesel in it. And go and check the air pressure in the tyres, because they state 107 in PSI is normal as a cold temperature, and I don't think they've got that in them. The front ones have got bulges in them with no load on, so that's a bad sign when you're talking truck tyres, because they're a off-roady style pattern. They'll be causing a significant amount of drag. So we'll go through and check all of them if the air gun at the servo goes high enough. If not, we might have to do it at home. Let's go for a drive and see if it's any different. So it's just feeling really kind of low and sluggish. Doesn't get hot, which is good. Means the clutch fan and everything's working well. It's certainly rolling better. A bit bumpier, of course, but that's probably why the previous operator may have let the air pressure out. We had 38 pound in the front left, 40 in the front right, 20 on the inner 2 tyres at the rear, and about 35 on the outers. So we put all 4 rears at 70, put the fronts up to 80. Fronts are capable of up to 107. It's by far rolling better. I've just gone up a rather large hill on the highway. Temperature gauge is only a smidgen off cold. And the clutch fan kicked in about halfway up the hill. But I managed to go up the hill in 4th gear at about 55, 60 k an hour. Which isn't the worst in the world, but I reckon we can improve on that. So what we might do is run out this bit of diesel she's got in her and put some clean stuff in it, because it could have been there for, well, this truck's hardly moved except for one of the blokes at work used it on his block a bit for almost 2 years that I know of. So the diesel in here could be stale as goat piss. Right, I'll go for a bit of a drive and see if it improves when we put some fresh diesel in it.